So class, welcome to the lecture number 30 of the course, Basic Electrical Engineering. So this lecture number 30 means today we are starting unit number 3rd. Unit number 3rd. So basically the first topic of this unit is related to magnetic circuits. So this unit is related to magnetic circuits. So basically in this unit we will I will give you an introduction to the magnetic circuits. So what is a magnetic circuit and what are the terms that are used in magnetic circuits? Terms that are used in magnetic circuits. Okay. So after the terms, we will see what is magnetic flux, leakage flux. What is magnetic leakage? So this is the first subtopic. The second subtopic is the magnetic leakage flux. Leakage flux and magnetic fringing. This fringing, it is also called as magnetic leakage flux or magnetic fringing. This fringing, it is also called as bulging. Okay, and after that we will study about the BH curve characteristics of a magnetic material, BH curve characteristics, hysteresis, and eddy currents. And eddy currents. So let us start with the basic concept. What is an electrical circuit? Simply, what is circuit? Circuit is simply any closed path. Any closed path is called a circuit. So in case of an electric circuit, electric circuit we means any closed path through which some quantity travels. Okay, I'm saying if I will say electric circuit, firstly I'm saying simply circuit means any closed path through which some quantity travels. Through which some quantity travels. Okay. So it is simply a circuit. Now, what is electrical circuit? Electrical circuit means any closed path. So what is the quantity that travels in an electric circuit? It is current. So I will say any closed path through which current travels. Okay, so this is electric circuit. So similarly what is magnetic circuit? What is magnetic circuit? Magnetic circuit is a closed path formed by magnetic material through which magnetic flux can travel. So I am saying simply circuit is any closed path through which some quantity travels. So depending upon the type of circuit, we will say what is the quantity that will travel. Okay, I am saying first electrical circuit means any closed path through which current travels, but this any closed path, this path should be made of electrical material. By electrical material I means conductors. Okay, and what is magnetic circuit? Magnetic circuit is any closed path formed by the magnetic material through which magnetic flux can travel, because this magnetic flux, I am saying magnetic flux and electric current. Magnetic I'm saying this magnetic flux and electric current, or simply current, They both are what? They are equivalent. Equivalent means magnetic flux in magnetic circuit and electric current in electrical circuit. They are equivalent. Okay. So this is what a magnetic circuit is. So I am saying, suppose that I have I have a magnetic material. Suppose this is the magnetic material, and this magnetic material is made of, I am saying this is a iron core. Okay. What I am doing here, this is a iron core. So what I am doing, I am using a winding here. Okay. Okay. And through this winding, some current I is flowing. Okay, here we have the source and this current I is flowing in this winding. So because of this current, okay, some flux will be generated depending upon the magnitude of current and the number of turns of this coil. Some flux is generated. I am saying this is the flux. I am showing it with a dotted line. Okay. So this flux is generated. Okay, the flux here generated, it will travel through this magnetic material. And it will move and it will again return back here. Okay, so this is the direction of the magnetic flux I am seeing. Okay, this is magnetic flux. So this magnetic flux which is flowing here, it is denoted by phi. Okay, and its units are Weber, WB. Okay, so I am saying that in an electrical circuit, electric current flows, okay, through an electric material. Okay, however, in case of a magnetic circuit, this is a magnetic circuit, a magnetic flux flows through a magnetic material. So I am saying this flux in magnetic circuit is equivalent to the current in electrical circuit. Okay, means whatever effect that is this flux is producing in magnetic circuit, same effect this current is producing in the electrical circuit. Got it? So let us come to the basic terminology, the first basic terminology in which I told you, the flux, magnetic flux. Number one, magnetic flux. Okay. So magnetic flux is nothing but simply the lines of forces that are coming out of the north pole of a magnet. Okay, of a magnet. So I am saying if I have a magnet, okay, and this magnet have one north pole and one south pole. So these lines of forces, they will originate from the north pole and they will end at the south pole. Okay, like this. I'm right? So like this. So the direction will be like this, direction of flux. So what is magnetic flux? It is denoted by symbol phi. Okay, and its units are Weber, small b and small w, Webers. So what is magnetic flux? It is simply the amount of, here instead of number I am using amount of lines of forces, amount of lines of forces originated from the unit north pole. So what do you mean? These are the amount of line of forces. And how will you say 1 Weber of flux? What do you mean by 1 Weber of flux? I am telling you this flux is nothing but the amount or the number of lines of forcing that are originated from a unit north pole. Okay, so I am saying if I have a flux of 1 Weber, this flux will be equal to how many lines of these forces? It will be equivalent to the 10 to the power 8 line of forces. Okay, so if I am saying if a 10 to the power 8 lines of forces, they are originated from a unit north pole, I will say that 1 Weber of flux is produced. Okay, this is fixed. So you know what is flux now? Simply the amount of line of forces that are originating from a unit north pole, and 1 Weber of flux is nothing but equal to 10 to the power 8 line of forces. Okay, so this was the first term. The second terminology is magnetic flux density. Magnetic flux density, this is denoted by symbol B, capital B. So it is density. Magnetic flux density means dense, means how much dense the magnetic flux is. Okay, I am saying how much dense the magnetic flux is. It gives us magnetic flux density. So if you see, you have to calculate, suppose the population density of your district. Okay, of suppose we want to calculate the population density of Avantipura. What we do, we calculate the total number of individuals that are living in Avantipura, and we divide it by the total area of the Avantipura. Okay, so this will give me the number of persons per unit area. Okay, and that will be the density. That will give me how densely the Avantipura town is populated. Okay, so density is nothing, it is relative to area. Okay, so what I am trying to say, I am trying to say that any quantity per unit area gives its density. Okay, so what is the dense quantity here? It is magnetic flux. So magnetic flux per unit area, it is called as the magnetic flux density. So flux per unit area is called, sorry, it is magnetic flux per unit area is called magnetic flux density. So denoted by D, so denoted by B. So if I am saying what is B? B is nothing but flux per unit area. So unit of flux is, I am saying it is Weber, and area is meter square. So the unit for magnetic flux density is Weber per meter square, which is nothing but Tesla, denoted by capital T. So B is nothing but Weber per meter square, or Tesla T. So you got what is this magnetic flux density. Simple flux divided by area, unit area, it will give you density. Now the third is, which is somehow related to magnetic flux density, it is magnetic field intensity. So magnetic field intensity, I will say how intense the magnetic field is, means how strong will be the effect of the magnetic field. Okay, so it is simply magnetic flux per unit area density, and intensity means how strong the magnetic field, how strongly it can affect the other magnetic materials. Suppose, how can I explain you? Suppose I am saying that I have a magnet here. Okay, this is north pole and this is south pole. Okay, so these magnetic lines of force, they will originate from north pole like this. Okay, got it? Now what I am saying that suppose I have another magnet here. Okay, I have another magnet here. So I will say intensity means how much force this magnet will exert on this magnet. Okay, so that this magnet can move from, is attracted from towards this side. Okay, so because this magnet will definitely exert some force on this magnet. Okay, so definitely this magnet will try to move towards this side. Okay, in this direction. So it will depend how strongly this magnet is attracted towards this magnet. It is called as the magnetic field. It depends upon the magnetic field intensity of this magnet. You have seen that some magnets which are very strong, they can attract, they can simply attract the other magnetic material towards them. However, there are some materials, some magnets whose intensity is weak. So they may or may not attract all the material towards themselves. So the more the magnetic field intensity, more force will be exerted on this magnet, and it will immediately move towards this side depending upon the magnetic field intensity. So however, we are not interested in this magnets here, actual magnets. Here we are interested in electromagnets. Okay, so this magnetic field intensity, it is denoted by symbol H. So in case of electromagnet, the magnetic field intensity H, it is given by the formula N into I divided by L. Okay, because you know, in case of a electromagnet, what you have this a coil. Okay, you have a coil like this, and a current flows in this coil, and some flux is generated in this coil. So the amount of how much strong this magnetic field will be, or how intense the magnetic field will be, it will depend upon number one, the magnitude of the current, and number two, the number of turns of the coil. Okay, and it will be inversely proportional to the length of the conductor, this coil. Okay, so if you will see, this magnetic field intensity H is given by N I by L. Okay, where N is nothing but the number of turns, okay, of the coil. I is the current through the coil, and L is the length of the conductor. Length of conductor. Okay, L is the length of the conductor in meters. So what will be the units for this H? Now the units for H will be turns in number, current is in ampere, and length is in L. Okay, so this will be current in amperes, number of turns multiplied by ampere, so ampere turns divided by length, so it will be ampere turns divided by meter. Turns we say T, and length in meters, so H will be, units of H will be ampere turn per meter. Okay, because H is nothing but N A by L. Now look here, I am saying how strong the intensity will be, means how many lines of forces will be there. Okay, I am saying how strong the field will be, means how many lines of force or forces are there. So obviously, more the intensity, more will be the flux density. Okay, what I am trying to say here, I am trying to say that more the intensity, more will be the flux density. B is directly proportional to H. Means magnetic field density is proportional to the magnetic field intensity. If the field is more intense, obviously line of forces will be more. So if the line of forces will be more, then the magnetic field density will be more. Okay, so if I will remove the sign of proportionality, I will get B is equal to mu H. Okay, so where mu is nothing but the permeability. What is permeability? I will again explain. It is my, I think, the third or fourth terminology. So B is equal to mu H. So what will be H? H will be nothing but B by mu. So I am saying B is directly proportional to H. So B will be equal to mu H. So H will be B divided by mu, where mu is nothing but the permeability of the material. B is nothing but permeability of material. Which material? Magnetic material. Permeability of magnetic material. Are you getting me? Intensity, density. Okay. So more the intensity, more will be the density. Okay. Now the next is fourth term. I just showed it, permeability. Fourth, permeability. What is permeability? Permeability is nothing but, like you say, like conductivity. In electrical circuits, you say conductivity. Conductivity, what do you mean by conductivity? Conductivity means ability of the material to conduct electricity. It is called conductivity. It is in case of electrical circuits. In case of magnetic circuits, we talk about permeability. Permeability is the ability of the material to get magnetized. Ability of the material to get magnetized. So I told you what is mu. Mu is nothing like mu r naught mu r. Okay, it is mu naught into mu r. So what is mu naught? Mu naught is the absolute permeability. Mu naught is absolute permeability. Absolute permeability. It is always constant, and this absolute permeability is always equal to 4 pi into 10 raised to minus 7. So this absolute permeability, it is a unitless quantity. Okay. Now the second is mu r. Mu r is nothing, is relative permeability. Relative permeability of material or medium. Relative permeability of medium. Relative permeability of medium through which the flux will flow. Okay. So this relative permeability, you know that all the materials, they cannot be magnetized easily. There are some materials which can be magnetized easily. However, there are some materials which cannot be magnetized easily, and there are also some material which cannot be magnetized at all. Okay, means they are not the means non-magnetic material. Okay, they cannot be magnetized. So higher the permeability means more is the that higher permeability means more magnetism, that more easily the material can be magnetized. Okay, so material with higher mu r means they are good magnetic materials. Material with lower mu r means they are not good magnetic materials. So this mu r, it depends upon material. So mu r is 1 only for air or vacuum. So it is 1. 1 is a lower value. So we say that air and vacuum, they are not a very good magnetic materials. Okay. On the other hand, if you will see mu r for iron, it is 800. 800 for iron. So 800, look, 800 means very big number. So this iron, we know it is a very good magnetic material. Okay, which you all know. You must have seen magnetism in this, iron. So this is permeability. Okay, so I told you this magnetic flux is equivalent to current and permeability is equivalent to conductivity. So next terminology is reluctance. Let me shift the camera towards stone side. So next quantity is, fifth quantity is reluctance. Reluctance is simply the is analogous to resistance. Okay, means analogous to resistance means whatever function is performed by resistance in electrical circuit, same function will be performed by reluctance in magnetic circuit. So resistance, it was offering opposition to the flow of current in electrical circuit. So what is the analogous quantity in magnetic circuit analogous to current? It is flux. So this reluctance, it will offer offer resistance to the or opposition to the flow of flux. So this reluctance means offers opposition to the flow of magnetic flux. Okay, I am saying this reluctance is analogous to resistance, means whatever function is performed by the resistance in electrical circuit, same function will be performed by the reluctance in magnetic circuit. Resistance was opposing current and reluctance will oppose magnetic flux. Okay, so the unit for reluctance is S. So remember, we are talking about the magnetic circuit. This S is not the apparent power which we were talking in AC, electrical circuits, AC and in AC, yes. So this is reluctance S. So reluctance is given by L divided by A into mu. Okay. So can I write it as L divided by A? What is mu? Mu is the permeability. So it is given by mu naught mu r. Okay. And what are the units for this S? Units for S is ampere turn per Weber. Why it is ampere turn per Weber, I will tell you at the end. I will tell you at the end of this means lecture. Okay. So I am saying I was saying this. If you will say what is resistance, resistance is equal to rho L by A. So instead of rho, what is rho? Rho is called the resistivity, but we are using permeability here. Okay. So S is equal to mu by A, L by A into mu. Okay. So you can see, like in resistance, it was also L by A, but it was rho L by A. It is here L by A into mu. So that is why we say that reluctance and resistance, they perform the same function. Reluctance opposes flux in magnetic circuit and resistance opposes current in electrical circuit. Okay. So and I will tell you why this unit for reluctance is ampere turn per Weber. Okay. Ampere turn per Weber. So before that, I will shift to another terminology. Fifth, sixth, it is permeance. Permeability means permeability. I told you permeability is analogous to conductivity. Reluctance is analogous to resistance, and this permeance is analogous to conductance. Okay, I think I told you conductivity, resistance, resistivity, conductance, conductivity in electrical circuits. No, this is permeability, reluctance, permeance. Okay, so these are the other quantities. Okay, so permeance, what is permeance? Permeance is the reciprocal of, like, you know what is resistance. You know what you have resistance and conductance. I think it was noted by G. Conductance, I am saying resistance and conductance. So we know that in electric circuit, resistance is nothing but reciprocal of conductance, or conductance is nothing but reciprocal of resistance. Similarly, we have permeance and reluctance. Okay, so reluctance here, reluctance is nothing but the permeance is nothing but the reciprocal of reluctance. Permeance is nothing but the reciprocal of reluctance. Equal to, I am saying reciprocal means equal to. It is not proportional, inversely proportional. It is equivalent. What happened to my camera? Yes, okay. I'm saying permeance is nothing but the reciprocal of reluctance. Reluctance, it offers reluctance, it opposes the flow of magnetic flux, and permeance, it allows the flow of magnetic flux. So permeance is reciprocal of reluctance. So permeance will be equal to 1 by S. So 1 by S is nothing but A mu naught mu r divided by L. So the units will be Weber ampere turns. Okay, so this is permeance. So this is, I think, sixth sixth what I'm saying, terminology. Now let us move to the last one terminology. Let me bring the A4 size sheet first. So you got magnetic. I started with magnetic flux, then magnetic flux density, then magnetic flux intensity. I told you flux intensity and flux density, they are directly proportional. Then I started from that permeability, ability to get magnetized, then reluctance, opposition to flux, then permeance means which allows the flux to pass through it. Now the last one is MMF. This is MMF. So basically, what is MMF? It is called magnetomotive force. So before this MMF, we should know what is EMF. EMF means electromotive force. What do you mean by electromotive force? Electro means electron or charge. Motive means motion. Okay, force means force. So EMF means force that is required to put the electron or charge in motion. Okay, force that is required to put the electron or charge in motion means that electron or charge in motion, because if you are talking about this charge, okay, when the charges are stationary, we say it is denoted by Q. Okay, we say Q. But when the charges are in motion, we don't say charge, electron, we say current. We say current I, which is nothing but dq by dt. So we are saying if the charges are not moving, okay, electrons are not moving, we are saying charge Q. But if the electrons are moving, we are saying current. We are not saying then charge, but we say then it is current. Current is equal to dq by dt, rate of change of charge. So we know that this, if you know Newton's law, Newton's force law, it states that any object or any body which is in rest, it stays in a state of rest unless until some external forces applied on it. So these charges, they are initially at rest. So unless until we don't apply some forces on these charges, okay, so these charges will not move. If they will not move, we will not get any current. So the force that is required to put these charges into motion so that the current can flow, that force is called as the electromotive force. So from where this electromotive force comes? Okay, so this comes from the, means we simply say EMF. It is nothing but it comes from voltage V. Okay, and what is V? V is nothing but I into R. Okay, so this was EMF. So simply for moving an electron, we need some force. Similarly, for the flux for the magnetic flux, or for driving the magnetic flux, some force is required. Okay, that force is called in magnetic circuit is called MMF. However, the force that is required to drive the electron in electric circuit, it is called EMF. Okay, so this is what EMF is and what MMF is. So this MMF, it is a driving force that is required to put the magnetic flux into motion in magnetic circuit, and this EMF is the force that is required to put the electron or charge in motion in electrical circuit. So I am saying EMF is nothing but V. So V is nothing but I into R. Okay, this is in electrical circuit. This is an electrical circuit. Now from this we will drive MMF. Okay, so this is EMF V. V is equal to IR. So what is MMF? So what is the analogous of current in magnetic circuit? It is flux phi. This is resistance. Okay, what is the analogous of resistance in magnetic circuit? It is reluctance. What was the unit for reluctance? S. Okay, you got MMF is equal to phi into S. Okay, so if you will see what was the unit for formula for S, it was S was nothing but L divided by A mu naught mu R. Okay, so but what is phi by A? Take phi by A on one's outside and we are left with L divided by mu naught mu R. What is this phi? Flux. And what is A? Area. Flux divided by area, it will give me magnetic flux density B. So it will be B L divided by mu naught mu R. Okay, so this mu naught mu R, I can simply use it by mu. What is mu? Permeability. So I can write MMF is equal to B L divided by mu, where mu is the permeability. Okay, so but we have a relation between B and mu as well, because we know that B is directly proportional to L. B is directly proportional to, let me write it here, B, I'm saying we know that B is directly proportional to H and B is equal to mu H. And what is B divided by mu? It will be H. So I can write MMF is equal to H into L. This is the second formula. Okay, and I also know that this H is nothing but Ni divided by L. So if I will substitute it here, I will get MMF is equal to H is nothing Ni by L multiplied by L. So L will cancel. So I'm left with MMF is equal to N into I. So these are the three basic forms of this MMF. MMF is equal to phi into S, MMF is equal to H into L, and MMF is equal to N into I. So, got it? So, you got it? There are three general formulas for MMF. So, I will write it again. MMF. So you know how I derived this MMF. I derived this MMF from this electrical equivalent EMF. Okay. So I am saying that MMF is nothing but, what is the first formula? Phi into S, flux into reluctance. Then MMF is equal to second formula H into L, magnetic field intensity into length of the conductor, and MMF is equal to Ni, number of conductors into current I. So these are the three general formulas for MMF. So I told you why I told you now that I will tell you at the end why the units for this reluctance as it is ampere turn by Weber. Okay. So I will start it from here. Okay. Ni, third formula. You know that MMF is equal to ampere turns, which is nothing but Ni. Okay, I will show it like this. It is equal to Ni. N is the number of turns denoted by T, and I is the current in amperes. So AT, TA or AT. Okay. So, but what is the formula for MMF here? Second formula, it is nothing but phi into S. So I can write that ampere turns is equal to phi into S from these two formulas. Ampere turns is equal to ampere turn equal to phi into S. From these two formulas, I got this formula. So S will be nothing but ampere turns by phi. Okay. So this ampere turns, what is the unit for phi? It is Weber. So S units for S is ampere turn divided by Weber. Got it? I got it from these two formulas. The first and third formula, I got this, the unit for S. So this was all about the terminologies that we study in magnetic materials. So now the next point is, next subtopic is magnetic leakage. Wait a minute. So next I was talking about magnetic leakage flux. Flux and magnetic fringing. Fringing is also called as bulging. Okay. So magnetic flux, I told you. Here I used the diagram for the specific diagram. Like here, I told you that this flux, which is generated in this coil because of this current, it flows through this magnetic path. This is a material made of iron. Okay. And I'm saying this is a material made of iron, and this material, it will provide magnetic path for the flux, and this flux, it flows from this direction and ultimately comes back here. Okay. So I am saying that it is not always possible that all the flux, it will pass through this magnetic path. Because there is some difference, there are few differences between electrical circuit and magnetic circuit. It is like that an electric current, it always flows through the prescribed path, or it always flows through the wires. However, this magnetic flux, it is not always possible to confine it to this magnetic path always. So some of the flux, it may pass through other mediums as well, like air or any other medium. Okay, so I will show it with the help of an example here. Suppose I am taking this is an iron ring. Okay, I'm saying this is an iron ring. So I'm saying this is an iron ring. Okay. Okay, this is an iron ring. This is iron ring. You know, this is an iron ring means it is a good magnetic material because its mu r is 800. Okay, its permeability is 800. Okay. So okay, yes. I'm saying its relative permeability of iron is 800. So what I am doing, on one side what I am doing here, I'm saying we have a coil here on one side. Okay, here we have a coil and some current I, it is flowing through this coil. Okay, so because of this current that is flowing in this coil, some flux is generated, magnetic flux, and this magnetic flux, it will flow in this direction. Okay, it will flow in this direction. Got it? This is the direction of flow of this magnetic flux. Got it? So the flux that here is generated, it is nothing but N into I. I am saying this flux is given by phi t. This is the total flux that is generated on this side. This side is called primary side. Primary side. Suppose we have another coil on the secondary side. Suppose we have another coil here. This is a secondary side. So this is phi total. So some flux is that is flowing through this path. So in under ideal condition, we will assume that whole flux that is phi total, it will flow through this iron ring. Okay, and it will reach here. This flux reach here, and EMF will be induced in this coil. This EMF will be given by minus N d phi by dt. Okay, so here I am using phi total, here I am using phi. Okay, so if there is under ideal condition, this phi will also be equal to phi total. Okay, but it has a property of magnetic flux. It has a property that it will always not flow through this confined path. Okay, or confined means the designated path through which we, or intended path. So this is my intended path where through which I want this electric flux to flow. So what will happen? Some of the flux, it will flow through the air as well, like this, like this. Okay, so some flux will flow through air as well, because you know that mu for air gap, it is nothing but only 1, and mu for iron is 800, means more flux will flow through iron and very small flux will flow through the air gap, but some flux will definitely flow through the air gap. Suppose I am saying that suppose that phi total is, suppose that phi total, I am saying it is 10 Weber. Okay, so I am saying because of the leakage, this flux that flows through this air gap, it is called as leakage flux, and it is denoted by phi L. Okay, this is leakage. So I am saying this leakage flux, total flux is 10 Weber, and leakage flux phi L, it is very small space, suppose 1 Weber. Okay, so because of this leakage flux, the net flux that will be available on the secondary side, it will be less than phi t. Okay, so if the flux that is available on the secondary side, it reduces, the generated EMF on the secondary side, it will also reduce. Okay, because N is nothing, E is nothing but N d phi by dt. So this phi is called as useful flux, phi u. So I am saying, though permeability of air is very small as compared to the permeability of iron, but still some flux will flow through the air gap, and because of this flux, the net flux on the secondary side, it will reduce. Okay, if this net flux on the secondary side will reduce, it will reduce the EMF that is generated on the secondary side, and this leakage flux, it is noted by phi L. Okay, so flux which flows through the intended path through the iron ring, it is called useful flux, denoted by phi u, and the flux that flows through the air, it is called as leakage flux. Okay, so the total flux, under any condition, the total flux, it should remain constant, means phi total should be equal to phi leakage plus phi useful. Okay, so this phi L, that is the flux that flows through the unintended path or that flows through the air gap, it is called as the leakage flux. Okay, and because of this leakage flux, the useful flux, it will be less than the total flux. Okay, now the last concept, magnetic fringing. Again, I will say that this magnetic fringing, it takes place when magnetic flux flows through two mediums of different permeability. Okay, so basically this magnetic fringing or bulging, it is the collection of the various lines of magnetic forces in one area, and it occurs in cases where there is change in relative permeability. Change in relative permeability means where means we have two mediums with two different permeabilities. Okay, so what happens in the medium with higher relative permeability, the concentration of magnetic lines of forces, it will be different as compared to the medium with lower permeability. Okay, I will show it here with the help of a diagram. Oh shit, I need to draw semicircle. Look here, I'm saying this is a iron ring in the form of a C, and this is the air gap, means this area, in this area we have the air gap. So what happen if we just use a coil here. I am just using a coil here, and I am saying through this coil current I flows, and this coil has n number of turns. Okay, so what happens, because of this, some flux will flow. Okay, so and here I will have some leakage flux as well. Okay, this is phi leakage, this is phi total. Okay, and this is phi useful flux. Now I am saying this is made of iron. Here the relative permeability is 800, and this is mu air gap. Here the relative permeability is 1 per unit. Okay, so now tell me, if you will see here, you know that here the permeability is more, so magnetic flux will try to will flow from will be generated developed here. It will move in this direction, and at this point you will see we have a air in between these two contacts. What happens? You know that here the flow of the flux, it will be very fast, okay, because it has very low permeability. However, in when this flux will reach here it will, what will happen to this flux? Okay, what will happen here? You see what happens here at this point. The velocity with which the magnetic lines of forces are reaching to this point, they will not pass through the air gap with the same velocity. As a result, more line of forces will reach this point, but they will not pass through this air gap at the same velocity. So what will happen because of that? This flux, it will try to pass like this. It will try to pass like this. So because of this discontinuity here, so the electric flux, it will try to pass through the air gap, okay, like this, okay. And you can see there, here the width of the path through which the electric lines of force they are traveling, it will be more. So a bulge is created here. A bulge is created here at this point. If you will see, a bulge is created here. So because of this bulge, this bulge is also called fringing. This bulge is also called fringing. So I am saying, if the line of forces, they are flowing through the two mediums of different permeability, then medium with lower permeability will have increased. This is the medium with lower permeability air. It will have increased cross sectional area, okay. So it will have increased cross sectional area for flow of flux, which is called as the magnetic fringing. That is the increase in the cross sectional area. So this is the one effect of this the discontinuity. That is, means cross sectional area of the magnetic flux in a medium with lower permeability, it will increase. The second is, it will reduce the magnetic flux density on the other magnetic flux density. So where the magnetic flux density will be reduced, it will be reduced here, okay. So it will reduce the magnetic flux density on which side? I am saying here means on the other side of the material with higher permeability, okay. So if you will measure here, first I was talking about the area. Here the area of the cross section was this, okay. So here the area of the cross section is this. So obviously this area is more than this. This is because of the fringing. Secondly, I am saying the magnetic lines of force which was passing through this ironing at this point, they were not able to pass through the air gap at the same velocity. So definitely it will reduce the density here. It will reduce the density of the magnetic lines of forces here, okay. Means whatever will be the density at this area, the density at this area will be smaller, okay. Means density will be more at this point and density will be less at this point, okay. So it will have two effects. Fringing simply means increase in the cross sectional area of the flux path in the medium with lower dielectric in the medium with lower permeability, okay. So number second means cross sectional area will increase. The second effect is that density of flux density, magnetic flux density in the other side of the medium with higher permeability, it will reduce. So these are the two effects of this fringing. So that is all about lecture number 30. Next I will talk about the BH curve and this hysteresis loss in the next lecture. Thank you very much.